So when I started my online business, one area I was skeptical about was building a mailing list. So I didn't think this was very necessary until I started building it slowly on the side. And when it was time to launch my products or my course, this really helped a lot, and I was able to make some record numbers. So what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm going to show you how to build a mailing list from scratch. I'm also going to show you how to build the landing page and how to connect it with your email service provider. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let me show you how. So before we get started, I'd also like to talk about what you need to have in place first. So in order for your mailing list to grow, you are going to need to give something away for free. And this particular thing has to be something of value. It has to be valuable because remember, you're trading your product with an email address. So once you've decided on what you need to give away, some examples are, it could be a mini course, it could be a PDF, it could be an audio recording. As long as it's valuable, it is fine. So in my example, I am giving away my WordPress mastery course absolutely free. So I can see a lot of people signing up for the WordPress mastery course. Now, when it comes to these videos, you don't necessarily have to be on camera. You can just record your screen and that could go down as your main course. All right, so let's dive in and let me show you how to set it up on your website. So over here, I'm in my WordPress admin dashboard. So let's create a landing page. So I'm going to come over here, click on add new. So this page here is, let's just call this free diet plan. Okay. So what I'm going to do over here now is I'm going to go to my page attributes and change this from template to blank. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because we want to make sure that when people go on this landing page, they're not distracted by anything else on this page. We just want them to see the main message and that's it. Okay, so moving on, let's now click on use Divi Builder. And for this, we're going to build from scratch. So let's start off with a single column here. So we are going to have our text. So I'm going to search for my text module. And this is where we're going to add our heading. So this is my main heading here. So I'm just going to highlight it and set this to say heading 2. And we also want to make sure this is centered. Now let's go in and stylize this text. So to stylize it, I'm going to click here on design, heading text. And remember, we set this to heading 2. So we're going to change our font here to Poppins. And we're going to make this bold. And we're also going to add a bit of line height. So I'm going to scroll down here and let's increase to about 1.6. Okay, so that's looking okay. Next, I'm going to save. Now I'm also going to add another module, and this time I am going to add 2 equal columns. On the left side here, I am going to add an image. Now, what you could also do is use a video, but we're just going to keep everything simple here. So the image for this is already here in my media library. So I'm going to upload my image. So that's the image that's going to go. So with my message, so I'm going to save that. Now over here is where we're going to add our email opt-in. So we're going to pause right now because what we're going to do now is to go back to our website and set up our email service provider. So there are several email service providers out there. There's MailChimp, there's ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, and so on. I would highly recommend going with MailChimp because it is free up to 2,000 users or subscribers. But one of my favorite one is Fluent CRM. It's easy to use and it's a plugin that we can use on WordPress. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So over here we have Fluent CRM. I'm going to click on it. Now to install it, it's a plugin. So you just need to come over here to plugins, click on add new, and then just search for it. So, so I'm just going to come over here and search for Fluent CRM and then hit enter. And we can see here we have Fluent CRM automation. So once you install it, now in my case, I've already gone ahead and installed it. And once you install it, you will have an entry over here. So for a basic email list, this is the easiest way to do it. So once you've set it all up, the next step now is to add our list. So I'm going to come over here to lists, create a list. And this one here is the diet plan. I'm going to confirm that. And what I may also want to do here is to add a tag, because I could tag my subscribers with this tag, and this will make it easier for me to send my emails if I need to do that in the future based on a tag. So I'm going to come over here and click on tag, and I'm just going to say diet plan. Confirm that. Excellent. So now that I have my list here and also my tag, it's time now for me to go here and add my email opt-in. So I'm going to click here on this plus button and search for email opt-in. I'm going to select it. And here's our email opt-in. So there's several ways you can play around with this. You can use it as it is, or you can go in and customize the text and all that good stuff. So what we're going to do is, I don't really like this background color. So to change it, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to use that as my background color. And then I am going to go in and just change the background a little bit here. Let's see, add some transparency. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And then next, I'm going to go in and add some rounded corners. So I'm going to come over here to border, set this to 4. Now, I may also want to add a border here. So let's set this to, say, 2. We're going to add our color like that. Now, this is just styling it so it may so we make it look nice. Okay, so now that I've added that, I can now go back to my content and then I can just go in and give this a heading. Now, right now, we're not going to spend so much time trying to come up with the right copy for this. Just know that this is where you'd add your heading. But, and then this area here is where you add your description of what they are getting. Next, you want to come over here now to your fields. So this is where now you can say, okay, you know what? I don't want to add the last name. And you may also even need to remove the first names. In most cases, this should work fine. So now that we've added this, the next step now is to connect this with our email service provider. So I'm going to click here on email account. Now you can see here, there's several service providers. There's a whole list here. So I'm going to choose Fluent CRM. And then now I can look for my list. So I'm going to click here on add, and my account name here is going to be diet plan. Now I'm going to select my list, and here it is, the diet plan. And I'm just going to click on add, and pretty much that is connected. So over here now, we can go in and customize our text. So we can now click here on design. So let's work on our title here. Set this to pop-ins. We're going to change the color, and we also need to change the color here for our body. Change this to pop-ins. Excellent. So all we have to do now is to customize our button. So I'm going to come over here, and for our button here, I'm going to click here on use custom styles for button, and I am going to add my background. So I think that works great as my background color. I'm going to add my border with the same color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase the size a little bit here to about 22. And I'm pretty much happy with that. So I am going to now save this. Oh, before I save, now over here on the content, what you can do on the button is you could say access the course, or you can just call this instant access. Okay, so now that we've added that, I'm going to save this. And since we have some rounded corners here, we might as well go in and add some rounded corners here on this image. So we're going to come over here to our design, border, add our rounded corners. So let's go with 3 and save. So as I mentioned, we can either have a video here or we can just have an image, because this just complements what we have here on the right. Now you may also want to add some text here that also further explains this statement over here. So let's go ahead and add a text module. So for this text, we want to make sure it's all centered. So I'm going to go in and paste my text like that. Now let's stylize the text by coming over here to text, change this from default to pop-ins. We're going to increase the size, make this nice and big. Okay, and now I'm going to add my line height. Excellent. And then I'm going to save. So what we may also want to do here is to add a bigger title, something that just grabs people's attention. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to go in and just say 30-day plan. Instead of having this as heading 2, let's set this to heading 1, and then we're going to go in and customize it. So I'm going to go to my heading text, change this to pop-ins, and we are going to now increase the size, have it nice and big. And we're also going to change our color here. Let's make this bold or ultra bold. There we go. All right, so now we just need to go in and customize the margins here. So I'm just going to remove that. So our paragraph text here is closer. And as we look at this, we also see that this text here is way too wide. Let's go in and fix that by coming over here to design, text, and we need to adjust our size here. In fact, we need to go to sizing and change our width to about 66%. And then center it. Okay, so that's looking better. Yeah, so I'm pretty much happy with that. I'm going to now add some padding here to the top. So 110 should be fine. We're going to do the same to the bottom. So I'm going to drag this until I get to about 110. There we go. And then now I can just save this. And once this is saved now, all I have to do is to exit the Visual Builder. And this is our landing page. It doesn't even have the header here to distract anyone. So when they come over here, they're going to read this. And if this is converting really well, they're going to add their email address. And once they add their email address, their name will be added onto their mailing list. And this is how you set up your mailing list. And with this, you always need to keep an eye on it, because if this starts performing well, you need to push it even more so that your email list grows. Now, there's also a stage after this, and that is using Facebook ads or YouTube ads. I will be discussing this in upcoming video. All right, guys, that's all I have for you in today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.